Welcome to the Celtic Tiger Motors garage, everybody. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about grounding or earthing, as my European friends call it. Yep, it still looks like a mess for those of you that have been following me. I'm getting there though. I'm cleaning this up. This has been cleaned up quite nicely. The next step here is to get it all bundled up and put in protective coating. I'll probably work on that next week or so, but that's a lot cleaner. But I wanted to ask you guys a question, you guys and gals that work on automotive. Where is the ground? What does that even mean? Well, grounding is important because without grounding, none of this stuff would work. The key switch ignition, which I'm showing you right now, these turn signal lights, the headlight, none of it would work if it wasn't grounded. For example, this turn signal light on the right, it has, I gotta follow it myself. It has a connection that has been undone. I gotta put that back in here. It's got a 2-to-1 connector that I'm working on. But anyway, this has a connection to the rear turn signal light. So this first one is for the rear turn signal light, and this second one that's coming off this way, and it's going down through here and around to the other side, that's going to a ground. Same thing with the headlight. That you can't see it here, but the 3 wires come out of this receptacle, a plug, that's basically what it is, and then one of those goes to a ground, okay? Same thing with the front brake lever, and also the horn. Well, that's the button, but the horn is right here, and you can probably see it better on the horn even, that there's a ground wire and there's a wire that actually goes to the horn relay, so that when you push the horn button right here, that it will sound the horn, okay? So everything is grounded, even this is grounded. One of these is for the brake, one of these is for the power, one of these is for ground. So why is it grounded? Because electrons form electricity and they have positive and negative charges. And I've got all this charge going through to these loads or these lights, which in electronics we call it a load. And they have to be grounded because without it, the circuit would not be complete. So circuits have to be completed. They have to be completely closed. Like if you think about a breaker, if you've ever heard someone say, well, we have to close the breaker, that's what that means. The circuit must be closed. So otherwise you have a short and then nothing works. So the ground on a motorcycle, do you think it's the frame? Some people have said to me that the frame of your motorcycle needs to be your ground. But I will tell you that's not always the best thing. Because why? Why is it that the frame is not always a good place to make your ground? Well, it's not very stable. You would think that electrically that the frame of your motorcycle would be a good ground, but it's actually not, because you can have some problems with not consistent grounding with your frame. So where is the best place to ground your motorcycle or your automobile? It's actually, if you can see that's right here on the engine block, right here. And this creates something that we call an equipotential surface in electrical engineering. Basically, all of the charges are centered right there, because the metal is consistent and it's not going to change. It's an unmovable point. Your frame may change, but this will not. This point will not change. And that's a lot of stuff I have on ground right now. But that's all going to get cleaned up here in the next few weeks. But this is my motor right here. And then, so you want to make sure that you have a bolt that goes through. There's another one that I could have used right here. But the reason I didn't use that one is kind of obvious, because this would get in the way of the chain drive. So can't do that. And I think, yeah, there's another one on this motor somewhere. Where did it go? Yep, there it is. There's another one right here, but clearly, as you can see, that would interfere with the chain. So to recap, just make sure that you're always grounding in a consistently electric ground space for your motorcycle. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on the Celtic Tiger Motors Garage.